Welcome to the News Hour on Metro TV. My name is Emmanuel Oladipo. First, listen to the following headlines. Drama as representative claims Nigerian army not happy with Lagos governor's denial of invitation. Admits guns fired at Lekki tollgate. Mixed reactions as ASU asks students to learn skills, have fun, or travel. Now the news in details. Representative of the Nigerian Army, Brigadier Ahmed Taiwo, who is the commander of the 81 Military Intelligence Brigade, has said that the Nigerian Army is unhappy that Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu denied inviting them to restore normalcy at the Lekki toll gate, where the EndSARS protest was most prominent.
After a considerable detailed search of hospitals and mortuaries in the state, Governor Jide Sanwo-Olu confirmed that only one life was confirmed lost in connection to the Lekki incident. According to staff of Redemptive Hospital Lekki, the death of the unnamed individual was caused by blunt force trauma, and he was on Admiralty Road. Another body with a gunshot wound was deposited in a mortuary in Yaba. An investigation is still ongoing to see if this occurred at the Lekki toll incident. I spoke personally with the governor on this because the Nigerian Army was not happy about two things. The first, his denial that he asked us to intervene.
Brigadier Taiwo made the revelation recently while addressing members of the Judicial Panel of Inquiry set up by the state government to investigate cases of police brutality, affirming that the army was not happy about the governor's denial that he asked the military to intervene when in actual fact it was the proper thing to do. According to Brigadier Taiwo, quote, he called the Chief of Army Staff and the GOC 81 Division and asked for intervention because the police had been overrun, unquote. The Army commander, who made his comment after presenting video evidences to the panel, reiterated the Army's earlier position that officers were only deployed in the orders of the state government, particularly in relation to the events of October 20, 2020. However, the governor is yet to make any definite statement about who ordered the deployment or the shootings by the army.
Last night, we went round the mortuaries last night to see and to monitor for ourselves what has happened and to look and identify the injured protestants. It is therefore relevant to let you know that we have also personally visited the hospitals that took in these patients. 10 patients were at the General Hospital in Lagos. 11 patients were at the two locations of the Reddington Hospital, both in Lekki and Victoria Island, and another set of 4 patients were at Vidic and later transferred to the Grenville Hospital, also in Victoria Island and in Ajah area. And I want to expressly say that over the night, 2 of them had to go through surgery, and I'm happy to say that they're both stable and they're recovering very well. Quite a number of the others are just mild to moderate states. Indeed, 3 of them has been discharged, and I'm told this morning that additional.
Earlier, Governor Sanwo-Olu had attributed the unfortunate incident to forces beyond his control, leaving many Nigerians puzzled. But in an interview with CNN, the governor has said, quote, from the footage that we could see, because there were cameras at that facility, it seemed to me that there will be men in military uniform, which should be the Nigerian army, unquote. The governor, when asked further if military forces ordered the shooting of the peaceful protesters, he replied, quote, yes, they were there. That is what the footage shows, unquote. Recall that viral eyewitness video from the scene of the shooting has shown several persons who sustained gunshot wounds. But contrary to information circulated earlier, the governor revealed that only 2 persons were confirmed to have died from the incident so far, saying, quote, 2 dead bodies, That is what we have seen from all the mocks. Well, that is what we have going to hospitals. That is what we have seen as records. What has happened is there have been so many footages that people have shown, but we have not seen bodies. We have not seen relatives. We have not seen anybody truly coming up to say, indeed, I am a father or mother to someone and I cannot find that person. I have been to the ground and there is no scratch of blood anywhere, unquote. Be informed that the Judicial Panel of Inquiry set up about 3 weeks ago is expected to look into the shootings of peaceful protesters at Lekki Toll Gate as well as other cases of police brutality with a view to ensuring justice for victims, of which in previous sittings some survivors have come forward to share grisly details of their encounters in the hands of rogue officials of the now disbanded Special Anti-Robbery Squad (SARS). Narrating how he had spent over a month in detention, one of the victims revealed that he was tortured until he lost 2 of his teeth. Another person revealed that he was thrown off a story building. As a result, he is now confined to a wheelchair after he broke his spine. While another victim, a woman, alleged she lost her pregnancies after SARS brutality. Meanwhile, as the Judicial Panel of Inquiry continued its sitting with new information uncovered, lawyers took turns to question the representative of the Nigerian Army, Brigadier Ahmed Taiwo, on the role of the military at the toll gate where peaceful EndSARS protesters had gathered. The commander confirmed that soldiers were indeed at the venue of the protest, but that they were briefed before being deployed to the scene and debriefed after the operation. However, questioning if there was any report of fatality when the soldiers were debriefed, the army representative replied none, noting that the soldiers only acted on instruction allegedly prompted by the request of the state governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, whom he said sought the intervention of the military. According to the commander, there are 4 phases to be followed in the case of managing an internal security situation, with phases 1, 2, and 3 comprising observation, monitoring, training, and readiness for deployment of troops. He asserted that, quote, phase 4 is the actual deployment to hotspots, places that have problems, patrol, and things like that. Before phase 4 is activated, the governor would have sought permission or made a few calls or transmitted a letter to the president, or in this case, even to the chief of army staff. The governor indeed called the chief of staff to the president, unquote. In what seemed to be a slightly contradictory narration, the commander ascertained that Governor Sanwo-Olu requested military's intervention but did not instruct soldiers to move to the scene of the protest, saying that the governor spoke with the chief of army staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, and the general officer commanding 81 Division of the army. The brigade commander further said that the governor had initially reached out to the commander of 9 Brigade, but the military officer does not have power to deploy troops in such a situation. Thus, he insisted that the governor is involved in that decision. Moreover, General Taiwo affirmed that the soldiers fired only blank bullets containing gunpowder into the air and not directly at the EndSARS protesters, claiming that the army arrived at the scene some minutes after 4 p.m. when the curfew was initially meant to take effect, and they were at the plaza for about 1 hour 20 minutes, noting that he doubted any of the plaza officials would be on ground by the time the troops had reached the cubicles. Unfortunately, the lawyers could not conclude their questioning before the end of the recent sitting of the panel, thereafter adjourned until Tuesday, November 17, 2020. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has advised undergraduates to travel, have fun, and acquire skills due to its ongoing indefinite strike. The union, via its Twitter handle, advised students to seize the strike opportunity to add value to their lives, saying, quote, this strike is an opportunity for any undergraduate to get a skill. Students should always seize opportunities to add value to their life. At no time will conditions be favorable. Successful people only seize opportunities, unquote. Presenting 7 ways students can make the most of this period, the union tweeted that students should get intern or a small-time job, join the family business, learn a new skill, be active in church or mosque or other groups, travel, read books, and have fun. While students have begun to describe this new development as ASU toying with their future, The Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, has vowed that the federal government will explore other provisions of labour law if the disagreement between the FG and the striking lecturers is not resolved soon. They informed that members of ASUU and representatives of the federal government are expected to meet soon to resolve the protracted strikes which started on March 24, 2020 over the failure of the federal government to keep to between the two disagreeing parties. 2019 Memorandum of Action. The union and the government have also been at loggerheads over the Integrated Personnel and Payroll Information System, IPPIS. Speaking on Channels Television recently, Ngige revealed that government had met 6 of the union's 9 demands, asserting that, quote, even if countries go to war, at the end of the day they come to negotiation table. I am inviting them next week. We are doing side meetings on our part and we are collating everything. I am collating responses from the Accountant General of the Federation's office and everybody who has something to do with this matter, unquote. The negotiation between Dr. Ngige and leaders of the Senior Staff Association of Universities, SANU, as well as other stakeholders in the education sector, will be to ensure that the current impasse is resolved, of which Ngige said he is optimistic that the disagreement with the lecturers will be resolved. Ngige further stated that there have been government-side meetings where collations are being made to ensure that all pertinent data and pending issues are brought to the place of negotiation, noting that with the myriad of options available, the matter will be resolved. The Non-Academic Staff Union of Universities, NASU, and the Senior Staff Association of Universities, SANU, have, however, kicked against the payment system proposed by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, whereas ASUU had asked the federal government to adopt the University Transparency Account System, UTAS, rather than the Integrated Payroll and Personnel Information System, IPPIS, for the payment of lecturers' salaries and allowances. The minister, while disclosing the position of NASU and SANU to reporters recently at the National Assembly Complex in Abuja, the nation's capital, said, quote, there are other unions in the university system that are saying they will develop their own system and that they are not going to go on to UTAS, Senior Staff Association of Universities, Non-Academic Staff Union of Universities, National Association of Academic Technologists. ASUU is not the only union in the university, unquote. While addressing newsmen after defending the budget of his ministry in the Senate, Ngige warned against the use of different payment platforms in Nigerian universities, stressing that it is important for the government to ensure that the concerns of SANU, NASU, NAT and others are addressed while working to ensure the return of the lecturers to the classrooms. He, however, hinted that the payment system proposed by ASUU had been forwarded to the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, for assessment. He said, quote, if we ignore those people and what they are saying, even if ASUU calls off the strike, they will close the lecture halls, they will close the laboratories, they will close even the gates. It has happened before. Entry gates into the universities. We don't want that to happen. That is why we are taking them holistically and going in measured steps to be sure that we carry everybody along, unquote. Why? We informed that several meetings between the union and the government have ended without a definite conclusion, raising concerns on the part of students who have been out of the classroom since March this year. Alright, thank you for watching. Here is Sohain, the News Hour on Metro TV. Do join us for another episode, but until then, please stay out of trouble and enjoy life with your family and friends. I remain Emmanuel Oladipo. Bye.